STARCAST, the official podcast of the Billingham Stars. Watch and listen for the latest news from the Big Red Machine.
Hi everyone, welcome back to STARCAST, the official podcast of your Billingham Town Council sponsored Billingham Stars. An unbeaten weekend last weekend for your Stars, because we kind of didn't play, so we didn't lose, so that's a plus. But there was plenty of action to talk about. It was cup final weekend all across the NIHL regional divisions. The Moralee Cup now no longer belongs to the Billingham Stars. It has a new home in North Wales. More on that in a moment. Also, the Buccaneers had their cup final, an epic tie with Sutton Sting. We'll talk about that. The hockey in the Winter Olympics, that wasn't too bad either, was it? Both women and men's Olympic finals were a joy to watch. And we'll do a quick roundup of the action that did take place around the NIHL as well, before we look ahead to Stars' return to action, a nice, simple welcome back, a road trip to the league champion Blackburn Hawks on Sunday. Pleased to be joined back again for more hockey chat. Carol and Jono are alongside to go all things cup finals, Olympics, and so on. Evening to you both. How are things this Tuesday night?
Yeah, glad for a few calm days after a mental weekend of hockey.
Yeah, no,
quite literally mental weekend of hockey.
Yeah, for not being involved in any Billingham hockey, it was there was awful lot going on. Carol, all good with you too?
All good here, yeah. Obviously, this household had a very interesting weekend of hockey. It doesn't feel like we had a weekend off, that's for sure. I don't think we did, really.
When do we ever have a weekend off, to be fair? But yeah, so we'll talk about plenty. I say the cup finals in all four regional divisions. We'll take interest in, obviously, our division. And the Billingham Buccaneers had theirs in the Laidler division as well. We'll start with the Moralee, obviously taking the title away from the Billingham Stars from last season. It was Telford and it was D-side. And as we completely predicted, it was both a goal fest and did we say something about goalkeepers last week? I can't remember. We'll just forget that ever happened.
Well.
So yeah, a 15-12 aggregate. Safe percentages starting with a 6, I think. But in the end, it was a win for the D-side Dragons. A 9-7 win in Telford on Saturday and a 6-5 win at a sold-out Den on Sunday. So the Moralee Cup goes from Billingham to D-side. Carol, you can start with your thoughts on, obviously following from afar. There were webcasts available. Quite a few of the games this weekend actually had a free stream, which was good to see. But yeah, the Moralee Cup, Dragons deserved win in the end.
Yeah, I think so. I watched the leg in Telford. Sunday I was otherwise engaged, but the game itself in Telford was a bit of a shootout, really. Both teams really going for it offensively, and quite honestly, it just looked like both of them would score every time they went forward. So a good old-fashioned shootout, and I think that the scoreline was right at the end of the day. D-side definitely edged that one. I've got to give a shout out to the guys on the stream, actually, because obviously we've had with us having such a poor experience with a streamed game the previous weekend. I ended up watching 2 games on stream this weekend, and the difference was night and day. And the 2 guys that did the comms, they're the Telford Tigers national comms team. They were brilliant, and even though they don't usually cover this level, were quite knowledgeable. And I did have a bit of a giggle, actually, because towards the end they were absolutely baffled by some of the decisions made by the officials in that game, and I kind of felt like putting in the chat, "Welcome to our world." But it was quite a giggle listening to them going, "What's he watching here? What's he calling It was quite funny. But yeah, excellent stream. And I know it ended up being free, so excellent value for money. But really good. Really good watch actually. And D-side definitely edged it. The second leg, obviously, I didn't see it. But if it was anything like the first leg, then yeah, I think D-side are deserved winners of that trophy. And congratulations to everyone in North Wales. I'm sure a good time was had by all afterwards. And a few sore heads on Monday. Well done.
Might still be having a good time had by all. May still be going on. I didn't get the name of the main commentator on Telford, but I know that the colour guy was Alan Gould, who used to play for the Tigers back in the day, and he's obviously, as Carol noticed, the accent. He is a northeast guy, so he's obviously knows his stuff because he's one of us. And yeah, so the crew there were really good covering the game. Plenty of action for them to talk about as well. 3-3 first period, 5-5 second period, and then a 9-7 final. Jono, your thoughts on Tigers Dragons?
Yeah, it was just a good old-fashioned shootout, wasn't it? No one really took control of the big moments. I mean, I bigged up both netminders last week, and they probably both wish I never bothered because neither one of them could bring a save when it mattered. And I think that's what the game probably needed from a neutral point of view when those big moments came along. That save wasn't made, so it just went backwards and forwards. I think D-side got themselves a little lead on Saturday, didn't they? They got themselves, and then Telford clawed the way back into it. But the effort to get back into a game like that would have been energy sapping, and D-side kind of like just took it away towards the end, and a bit of disciplinary issues as well. And with a power player like what D-side have got, with led by Witkowski, there's only going to be one outcome.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of goals, but there's plenty of pens as well. The power play on the Saturday, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 power play goals, a short-handed goal, and that was just Saturday. 2 fighting majors, a 5-in game. And then Sunday, I think the video has done the rounds from Sunday. There was a bit of a coming together in the third period where everybody grabbed a man basically, and just everybody piled on again. There was fighting majors, a 5-in game. So there's plenty going on for the fans and watching. And after bigging up the Zach and Tyler in net. We also did say they were 2 of the highest scoring teams in the division as well. So perhaps the goals we've seen them both at close quarters. Once they get clicking, they're both hard to stop offensively. So possibly not a surprise that there was a lot of goals in it.
No, and the best thing was because the netminders saw so much action. The Telford comms guys seem to like saying "de la Bertouche" all the time. they were basically articulating that Bertouche. So they seem to have a lot of fun with that. No, I don't think either netminder will look back at this weekend with any amount of pride. However, Tyler, probably it's been soothed by the fact that they won. But yeah, 2 very offensive teams going for it. What's a netminder going to do? Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that it came to that, but I'm sure, like I say, Tyler's not that bothered. Yeah. Zach, possibly a little more so.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the box scores courtesy of NIHL stats. So the Saturday, Zach Brown 9 goals on 35 shots. Tyler 7 goals on 33, and then on the Sunday, Tyler 5 goals on 43 shots, and Zach 5 goals on 35 shots, and there was an empty net goal as well, which apparently Jake celebrated and got told off for celebrating an empty net goal, as if you score an empty net goal in the last second of a cup final second leg and it counts. Who knew? Who knew they could do that?
Rule it off. Does it count?
Hang on, yeah. Offside, yeah. I'm saying the result. A worthwhile win for D-side. Anything else on the fans? Obviously, they say there's a few fighting majors, a couple of game of conduct. So we'll see if anything comes of that. The video that's done the rounds from the second leg, I know there was somebody was commenting on about what looked like a two-handed chop, but then somebody said it was to the stick, so maybe it wasn't, and obviously nothing was called on the night. So should we just wait and see what comes out of that one rather than speculating from afar?
Yeah, we'll see.
Which is not what podcasts are supposed to be. Are supposed to be speculating, but no, we'll take the high ground and just leave and see what happens. But it certainly seems full value. And one of the things from all of the finals this weekend seems to be obviously the entertainment, but also the crowds right across the 4 divisions, which I suppose is only good for the looking at the bigger picture, the divisions as a whole getting sell out. Obviously, D-side put the sold out signs. We had the sold out at the Forum for the Division 2. Division 2 South had over 1,000 fans, and Division 1 South, I think they were sold out on the second leg at the High Road in Streatham. So the NIHL regional division, we know this having been in it for a while, but it's a bloody good product, and it deserves to have its eyes on it, and looks like it's finally happening. Jono.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was over 3,000, well over 3,000 in the Telford D-side game, which is absolutely amazing to see. Not something you would normally see due to Telford being their second team, but whatever they've done there was absolutely fantastic achievement to get the bodies in. I think a lot of the NHL one National League fans probably did turn out, but I think a lot of people probably went to their first ever game and were probably amazed about what they saw. And then for the numbers, to see the numbers in the second division as well is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, you're not going to be as fast paced as Division 1, but it doesn't mean that the entertainment is any less. And anyone who was at a Division 2 game on Saturday in either division would have been thoroughly entertained.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Carol, same question to you. Everything, it's a positive sign for the 4 divisions.
Yeah, well, like I say, I watched a stream from Telford on Saturday, and there was people standing all around the rink, which is usually a very, very indicative sign in Telford that all the seats have gone. You don't see, you don't stand down there out of choice usually. So massive numbers, envious numbers really when you think about it. I mean. Yeah. Telford National obviously probably used to paying a little bit more to get into the rink, but they still turned out in huge numbers really. And I'm going to say that probably the national team would be looking at not as many on any given night, because Telford was full on Saturday. Mm-hmm. D-side was busting at the seams, and dare I say it, I don't think there was much in the way of corporate hospitality, shall we say. So, these guys are they're all paying to see what is an excellent product. And then you look at Division 2. On Sunday, the Forum's absolutely stowed out. All right, Sutton at Sheffield on Saturday, that's a whole different ball game for them. But still, a massive travelling contingent down from Billingham. More Sutton home fans than I've ever seen, ever.
Absolutely more than I've ever seen. There was about 50 to 60 of them. So there can't be that many parents, surely.
So all in all, when you look at, obviously, Sheffield's a much bigger facility as well. Although that's clearly not full and was nowhere near full, there were still excellent numbers in there on Saturday. And I believe it was exactly the same down south. So absolutely brilliant. For the sport at this level, to see that many people coming through the door and paying to see that product, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
Indeed, echo that 100%. So well done to the Dragons, Captain Jared Dickinson, Coach Mike Clancy, and GM Bebo. We know quite a few of the guys from there. So very well done to the D-side Dragons. Enjoy your stewardship of the Moralee Cup. We're coming back for it next year, just to let you know. But yeah, great and a great advert for the division as well. Telford, as we said previously, this isn't the Division 2 team anymore. They're a genuine bona fide Division 1, and that's just being nice to our Telford commenter from last week. We are being nice about your team. We're not having a go. They're a genuine Division 1 power, so always look for more things from them as well. So well done to everybody in the Division 1 Cup final, and congrats to the D-side Dragons. We've obviously mentioned it in a little bit. The Billingham Buccaneers qualified for their cup final, and as Carol says, a full house at the Forum on Sunday night. And pretty much like the game we've just talked about, the goals kind of started early and pretty never stopped all weekend. A 4-4 draw in Ice Sheffield. Sutton coming back with 2 goals late on to pull back a 4-2 loss, to make it 4-4 after the first leg. And then back and forth all night at the Forum. It finished 6-6 after 60 minutes. A scoreless overtime, which went to penalty shots. And the ref knew there was only 3 penalty shots in the competition, which sadly meant Billingham missed 2 of theirs. Sutton scored 2 of theirs, and that was the win for the Sutton Sting. 7-6 on the night, 11-10 on aggregate. A huge effort from the Bucks, Carol. Obviously, you were there Sunday night in person. One of many in a full barn. What were your thoughts of the Buccaneers trophy weekend?
Yeah, I mean, Saturday, certainly they came out of that one with it a lot closer than possibly some people had it pegged. I mean, privately, I sort of thought, well, if they can keep it within 2, they've got a chance on Sunday. As it is, they came out with a draw. And again, I will give a shout out to the stream people from Sutton. Camera work was a little jittery. Didn't end up feeling sick after a while, but the comms was spot on for 2 guys who were clearly cheering for Sutton, but at the very least had done their homework on Billingham and were quite complimentary, and especially about the fans, which was good to hear. So big shout out to them. Thank you very much for that stream. But yeah, they came out of Saturday just all tied, and to be fair, you can't really ask for any more than that. The Sutton being favourites and all that, so very confident going into the Sunday leg. The Forum's absolutely rammed, noisy as well. Great to see that kind of turnout from Billingham's ice hockey family. Fabulous. But in the end, I think if we're really truly honest with ourselves, Sutton were the better team on Sunday. I think it would have been difficult for them to swallow if they hadn't won that penalty shootout. And indiscipline has cost the Bucks in certain spots, a couple of big mistakes. But I think they can be nothing but proud of the effort. You know, they hung on to Sutton's coattails, and in periods, you know, in small periods, they got the noses in front and they were looking like they might actually do it. So from that point of view, nothing but pride. I don't think they could have done any better. I don't think they can point to any individual moment and say that cost them. I just think Sutton had a little bit too much on the night. And once it goes to a penalty shootout, really, what's the cliche? It's anybody's game, really. But I do think the better team won it. But all kudos to the Bucks. That was amazing. And if they can keep that kind of one-off game mentality going in the playoffs, they've got a massive shout for that. So I hope they keep up that momentum, because they are, I think Jono said it last week, they are a big game team, and they do to get themselves up for it. And that was very evident on Saturday. So I'd put the Bucks as a big outside shout for the playoffs. Big
dog horse, yeah. I mean, looking at the scoring chances, you said correctly that Sutton were shots on goal on Saturday 50-25, so they out-chanced the Bucks 2-1 on Saturday, and it was 57-31 on Sunday. So they had the majority of the chances, and obviously Billingham did very well to keep up with it. Give a shout out to the Bucks goal scorers over the weekend. On Saturday, it was Clark, Capel, McCabe, or Maccabee, as he appears now to be called. Jammers Maccabee, and Pavlov on Saturday. And then on Sunday, 2 goals for Matty Pickup. It's great to see. Tom Wakefield back for the Bucks as well, which is also great to see. Jamez Maccabee again. Our own Ethan McLaughlin and Sam Dowd on target. And basically, if anybody who scored for Sutton was called Glasby, is pretty much the summary there, I think. But yeah, huge effort. John, were you there? You were there on Sunday as well?
Yeah, great. Like I say, absolutely packed out. I mean, to be fair, the only time it's ever been like that is when the Warriors are in town, and we've had real big games on the line ourselves. So fair play to the Bucks. They got it really busy. Like I say, I've only ever seen it busier for the Warriors, but and that kind of worried me a bit to think that the emotion of the game might have got the better of them. But no, they used the crowd. They played off the crowd very well. I think looking back to the weekend, the coaches might look back to that Saturday where they had a 2-goal lead late in the third. I think if a little bit of luck went their way, they could have maybe kept that 2-goal lead or at least one of those goals. I think it was 2 goals in like 15, 16 seconds that the Sting scored. But no, fair play to the Sting. They came in on Sunday as well, and they weren't overawed by the occasion. They weren't put off by the crowd. They brought their game. They knew the job that was at hand. I mean, they've always been the bridesmaid in the Ladle Cup themselves. I don't think they've ever quite made it until this year. I think Telford have always had their number. So it was a big moment for them, just like it was us last year, I think, for the times that we've got close. So you could kind of relate to that. But no, the effort that would have took Saturday definitely played a huge part on the Sunday for the Bucks. But no, great game. Really end-to-end stuff. Huge saves, weird long-range goals going in. Good old Sam Allardyce Route 1 stuff going on for the equaliser there from Sam Dowd, from Will Thornton with a big loopy pass. I kind of brought up a scene from one of the Mighty Ducks films where he just loops it forward and then the other one taps it in. But yeah, it was just fantastic to see. Great crowd, and it just shows you that Billingham's a hockey hotbed, as I've been saying for a long time.
Yeah. And we mentioned a few of the scorers. It's good to see as well. Obviously, the Bucks have their experienced players to support the juniors coming through, but the juniors, as you say, Matty pick up with a goal. Tom Wakefield, Ethan McLaughlin scoring on both games, I think. Will Thornton on D, and the guys we've also identified as possible futures coming through. So the more games these guys can play at this kind of level, this kind of intensity, could only be good going forward, Carol.
Yeah, the guys on comms for Sutton's stream on Saturday both picked out Will Thornton, which was kind of not surprising, but they both said, "Oh yeah, he's going to do good things, this kid." Mm-hmm. And you can say that about quite a few of that squad. And the more they play these big games, the more they get a taste for it, and they want to be part of more. You can only get hungrier. Yes, it'll have hurt not winning it, but it drives you on. Those types of experiences drive you on to want to actually get a taste of it. So there is that motivation now. It's like, right, we need to go on better. We need to and just push on. So. Mm-hmm. Great stuff from the two years from the Stars. Great stuff from the up and coming Bucks. Great stuff for all round. Really, the old heads in the squad really did their part as well. And shout out to Jamie Patson, who turned up to do a star turn on the bench at the start of the game, just to thank everybody for their support. And we continue to wish Jamie well for a full recovery.
100%, yeah. John, final thoughts from you from the Bucks?
Yeah, just echo what was said about Pickup and Thornton. The experience that they would have got from this weekend is absolutely priceless. I thought Pickup was absolutely sensational on Sunday, along with Will Wacker. Really stood out, the three of them, absolute quality players. Will got an assist on the game tying goal. Matty Pickup got 2 early goals. He certainly enjoyed his first one. But no, the future is very bright, and for them and for the clubs coming. And they may look back and be a bit gutted, but they should only ever look back with absolute pride and the effort that they put in at the weekend, and take absolute inspiration from it. they went toe to toe with a team that will win this league again. They've been a top 2 team for 5-6 years. They're well established. You've got the Glasby boys there who have been in Division 2 for how many years now, running a riot, scoring 100-point seasons or close to, the 3 of them, because it is an easy level for them. So they should be very proud to go up against what they went up against, and they're probably, touch wood, they're going to go up against them in a playoff final. And I don't think the Sting will be too happy about it.
Yeah, no, fantastic. So well done to the Sutton Sting, but a huge well done to the Billingham Buccaneers, players and staff, and the fans as well, who turned out so well on Sunday. So well done to them. The other cup finals, for those just for completeness, in South 1, it went the way of Slough Jets. Very mundane by northern comparisons. They won the first leg 3-0, lost the second leg 2-0. So just a 3-2 aggregate, but well done to the Slough Jets. And South 2, a bit more like it. Peterborough won the first leg 7-3, but lost the second leg 6-3, but they win 10-9 on aggregate. So more goals galore in South 2, but well done to all of our cup winners as the season rapidly is heading towards its business end. The only other hockey that did take place that we were going to talk about was a small matter of the Olympics. Limpix is how it's spelled for those who are following online. The Winter Olympics, and it completed with a USA double, Carol. The women's final set us up very nicely, and then the men's final just took it to another level and another OT win. This time though, for the red, white, and blue of the USA.
I mean, honestly, if anybody that's new to hockey watched either of those games on the TV, how could you not want to go and see a game for yourself after those 2 games? I said before the tournament even started that the best game from the last Olympics was the women's gold medal game.
Mm-hmm.
And yet again, that game delivered big time. It was so good to watch. The skill on show in that game was phenomenal. So I did actually say to the lesser half about, the men have really got something to live up to here, because, I think the women's game might end up being the better game yet again. But the men properly delivered. And that game on Sunday was, oh my word, that's one of the best games I've seen. It had everything. And I think Nathan McKinnon might have nightmares about that pretty much empty net that he missed in the third period.
Yeah.
I think over the game, you might argue Canada should have won it. They probably were the better team, but unfortunately for them, medals ain't won by probably should have been. Probably were the better team. What counts is the goal scored, and USA got it in the bag. It just had everything for me, that game. It was so fast as well.
It wasn't just that everything was happening. It was everything was happening at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I appreciate that Crosby was missing for Canada, but he wasn't fit. And given the pace of that game, probably the right decision for him not to play, because I'm not entirely sure he could have done much if he wasn't fully fit, because that was a 100-mile-an-hour game. And the bit at the end with the bringing Johnny Hockey's kids on the ice was just so lovely. What a beautiful touch that was. Then they went and blotted their copybook a little bit in the dressing room. Let's not even talk about that, because that's politics and don't really want to go there. But what a game. And I just hope there was new fans watching that who went, is there a rink near us? Do they have hockey? Let's go and watch it, because who could fail to have been impressed? Anything other than impressed by that game. It was just amazing.
And for those watching in the UK, because it was the last event of the final, it was pretty much the only thing that was on. So it was on primetime BBC, live and direct, and straight into people's living rooms. John, are your thoughts on the Olympic hockey?
Yeah, I'd love to know the BBC's viewing figures for that on Sunday afternoon, because I don't know a person who wasn't watching. Even I had friends watching it who aren't hockey fans going, "This is insane. When are they going to stop for a breather?" I went, "Nope, it's going to keep going. They're going to keep going." I mean, I think they probably wanted to stop, but the desire to kill each other was still quite high, especially in that first period. But the level of skill on shore at that speed, the NHL doesn't always provide that. That was our game at its absolute peak, and it was just good to sit and watch it going, this is my sport, this is just awesome. And even the women's game, that's the first time I've ever probably felt heartbreak for a team as well, the team Canada women. I thought they deserved that one. Obviously they got pumped in the group stage 5-0 by the USA. The USA with a far better team. They're much younger, much fitter team. And to lose it that way, I was actually gutted for Team Canada in that one. As for the men, it was, you get winners and losers, but I was just so proud of that the sport delivered, because it could have been an absolute drab, and it wasn't. It was everything that everyone hoped for and everyone dreamed for when we got the 4 nations last year. And I think now everyone's rubbing their hands together for the next 4 nations next year, because them 2 teams are going to be delivering for a very long time.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. It was, like you say, the women, Canada almost coming back from, say, the big result in the group stage to upset the Americans. But I like what the American women are doing with their kind of, if it was a club side, you'd probably say they're doing a rebuild. That they've left some of the established stars and brought through the girls who are playing semi-pro or playing in college, and giving them the opportunity. And Canada are sticking with the old guns, if you want to say it, and they're kind of being found out a little bit. So interesting to see how Canada respond to that. Yeah, and the men's final, like I said, just why we wanted the NHL players back in the Olympics after all this time. So it was fantastic to see.
Yeah. Good luck to Gary Bettman to ban them from the next one, because I don't think it's going to be happening for a while. I don't think the TV deals will probably dictate what happens for the next Olympics.
Yeah, no, they've even though it was like stupid o'clock in the morning in North America, the Canadians just repealed their drinking laws and let them drink from 5 o'clock in the morning anyway. That was fine. Yeah, so even though it was silly o'clock, their viewing figures probably been through the roof as well. So it'll be interesting to see. I know Carol did say we're not going to talk about politics, but I will just say I wouldn't like to be Brady Tkachuk going back to Ottawa. That's all. The captain of the Ottawa Senators saying to close the northern border. Good luck going back to Ottawa, Mr. Tkachuk. Thank you. Yeah, everybody's thoughts. If you have your thoughts on the cup finals or the Winter Olympic hockey, leave us a post on this platform wherever you're watching this or listening to this. Give us your thoughts or send us a message, and we'll take your messages, what you're thinking about. Just one game coming up for the Stars this coming weekend. So what we'll do is we'll take a quick break. We'll do a couple of box scores because there were some league games last weekend as well. In betweens all of the cup action. So we'll do the cup game, we'll do the box scores, and then we'll talk about Billingham's travel to Blackburn on Sunday. Just Blackburn for a return to action. We'll be back in a moment. Thanks for staying with us. This is your official Billingham Stars podcast. It's STARCAST.
This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts, including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of STARCAST. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
Welcome back to STARCAST. As we said, as well as the cup finals, there were a couple of league games in the NIHL North Division 1 last weekend. On Saturday, it was Hull Jets 6, Nottingham Lions 3. Another hat-trick for Ethan Daintith, second consecutive hat-trick for him. 2 for Bo Reeder and 1 for Boris Giba. 2 goals for Alex Rushby and 1 for Chan from Nottingham. So Jets win it by 6-3 on Saturday. And then Lions road doubleheader ends with a win in Leeds. It's Leeds 2, Nottingham 5. Leeds goals from O'Sullivan and Harrison. And then Nottingham's goals, Chan, Owen Humphreys, and another 2 for Alex Rushby. So they split their weekend, which means the league table heading back into regular action this coming weekend. Hawks clear at the top, 87 points. They're already champions, as we know. D-side second, Telford third, Solihull 4, Billingham in 5 on 53. Then a 10-point gap to the Hull Jets, who are on 43. They have now qualified for playoffs as well. Widnes in 7th, haven't yet qualified. Nottingham in 8th, and they've opened a bit of a gap now to the Leeds Knights, who are 9 points behind on 18. And Sheffield still bottom of the table there with their only win so far. A couple of wins. Did it win twice? They didn't they? Did I make that up?
No.
So the top 8 are looking like they're pretty much set, but obviously a few games left. This coming weekend, as we said, return to a full programme. On Saturday, Nottingham versus D-side at lunchtime, but not quite as lunchtime as it used to be. Half an hour delay announced by D-side just today. So 1:30 on Saturday in Nottingham. Hull Jets, Blackburn Hawks on 5:30. And then the evening game, Leeds Knights against Solihull Barons, rounds off Saturday night. And then a full programme, all 10 teams on Sunday. Sheffield Scimitars, Leeds Knights, D-side Dragons, Hull Jets, Telford Tigers, Widnes Wild, and the late game is Nottingham versus Solihull. But the game we're going to talk about is 6 o'clock at the league champions. It is Blackburn Hawks versus the Billingham Stars. Jono, you can start off this one. Nice return to action for the Stars after a couple of weeks between games. Just go to the home of the 20-point clear league champions and try and get a result.
Yeah, it's a good one to get going again. Certainly, we still have a point to prove. We've let ourselves down this year with our league position. The playoffs are still up for grabs, and we're still searching for that form to take us into the playoffs where we can go and say, "Yep, we're happy with where we're at." I don't think we are whatsoever. So, yeah, it'll be tough. It always is tough. Even if you're top of the league and you're flying along, going to Blackburn's never going to be easy. You know, they're going to give you a game. They're going to be in celebratory mood. They're going to remind us that we're no longer champions, which was pretty obvious from about Christmas that was going to happen. So it will be a tough, intimidating place to go. But no better place to come back after a break and try and get the cobwebs off and get going and have a real good go at these playoffs that are fast approaching.
Yeah. And as Fozzie said before, Carol, it's using these last league games to get us into kind of playoff form and no better place to start, as Jono says, than taking on the league champions.
Yeah. Our form in Blackburn over many years has been either absolutely amazing or the very opposite. And there is really no better place. Big ice, 3 highly offensive lines coming at you at speed. And the Stars really do need to get into a groove where we're putting together 60 minutes on a regular basis. And we haven't quite hit that yet. It would be nice to think that we could put a 60-minute game together over there. Because, you know, they might be the league champions, but on our day, we still give anybody a game. And it is, for us, it really is about finding that groove ahead of the playoffs, because you want to be able to rely on a little bit of consistency and have it as a, you know, a set mentality going into every game. So getting into that groove for me is the key from now on, not just Sunday. So there kind of isn't any better place to go. We've got nothing to lose, let's face it. They are now the champions and pretty much have been since the puck dropped in September. What have we got to lose? Everybody it's probably going to expect us to lose.
Mm-hmm.
However, I still don't think we've seen the best of the Stars this season. I still don't think that. And wouldn't it be great if we just started hitting it now, going into the end of the season? No better to start, so let's go for it.
Yeah.
Carol actually makes a good point there that there's nothing to lose. The points thing ain't going to be a difference. The Hawks aren't going to achieve any more points to win a league that they've already got. Looking at where we are in the league with Solihull and our fixtures, we ain't going to catch them. Hull ain't going to catch us, so I think it's pretty much set in stone that we're going to be playing Solihull. I can't see them catching third either. So it's time to get ready for playoffs. It's time to find that form, and Carol's right. It's time to find that 60-minute performance, and there's no better place than this Sunday.
Because there have been flashes over the last few games of the old Stars, you could say, coming back, but I say it has been flashes, and that C word, that the consistency is probably what's been missing there.
Yeah, and it's probably the hardest thing to find. I think if you find it early in the season, it's easy to keep that momentum. If you have one or two things that go against you and you think there's a bit of bad luck against you, it's hard to go and find that consistency. It's hard to get yourself going, or because you think the world's against you. But everything's got the cup's gone now. We weren't at the dance for that, which is a huge disappointment after being for the last three previous cup finals. So that's brought them down to earth with a bang. A couple of empty weekends. The league title's gone quite early in the season, much earlier than what I think we did it, to be fair. So yeah, now's the time to roll the sleeves up, get stuck in, and go and find that 60-minute game where we are consistent, and then we can be taking it into the week after and the week after that.
Yeah, because there's only a handful of regular season games left to get that consistency, Carol, and hopefully the time off from games, obviously it's still been training. We'll see the guys in training this week as well. It's cliche we use, but obviously use the time to recover and any bumps and bruises and stuff like that, and get guys fit again. But the last month or so of the season is going to be huge.
Yeah, very, very much so. And you know, we have seen those flashes. I mean, the first period against Telford the other week, we were, you know, we should have been 3, 4, 5 ahead. We were that good. And it was frustrating as hell to then go into a second period where it was the complete opposite. That's we need to change that. We need to find that complete performance where we're playing like that first period for the whole game. And if we do that genuinely, I'm not just sat here saying that because it's a Billingham Stars podcast, but if we do that, there is nothing that says we can't win those playoffs, because I still think that on our game, we're the best. And yes, I would say that, wouldn't I? But even with Blackburn's team full of superstars, I still think we've got the game to beat them. And granted, Sunday probably doesn't mean that much in terms of anything to do with the league, really. But in terms of a mentality, in terms of just getting under their skin a little bit, in terms of proving a point to ourselves, that's what we need to look at. So yeah, we've got nothing to lose. The points mean bugger all, quite frankly. But from every other metric that you want to name, we'd quite like to see 60 minutes from the boys this weekend.
Yeah. Indeed. So 6 o'clock at the Blackburn Ice Arena on Sunday. If you are travelling, usual rules apply. Travel safe, travel loud, travel well, and shout loud and proud for your Big Red Machine. Stuck in Block 1, as we no doubt shall be in Blackburn. Segregated, but have Blackburn fans sitting amongst us, because that's how segregation works, apparently. But yeah, so if you're travelling, do all of the usual, and be loud for your Billingham Stars. Anything else on the weekend before we quickly go to AOB?
Well, it's full programme of games on Sunday, so there's an awful lot of action this weekend. I think you're probably looking at the top 8 being pretty set now. I think Leeds have got far too much to do to catch Nottingham. I know they've got games in hand, but I just feel that gap's a little bit too big now.
Yeah.
But the jockeying about for position, and just like the Stars, they're kind of getting into that groove towards the end of the season. There's certainly a ton to play for, because everybody wants to be in form coming into the end of the season. And yeah, Sunday especially looks like a bumper programme, and we'll have an awful lot to talk about next week, I think.
Indeed. John, or anything? Or we good to move on?
No, yeah, Carol's nailed everything on the head. Full program means a lot of talking points coming up in the next week, and yeah, and leads out of it. I don't know. I'd have to look at the fixtures to see which teams have got left. But it is 3 games. It's about 6 points. Is it now 9 points?
9.
9.
Yeah.
So they can tie points, but I'm not sure where the head-to-head lies. So there's still a lot going on. It just probably takes a little bit of research and digging into it to see how that would potentially look. So I might do some homework for next week.
Because that can be your homework for Monday of next week. See how we are, and you can come with the facts and figures and fill us in.
Give you something to do on the bus on the way home.
But yeah, so whatever you're doing, if you are say going to Blackburn, if you're taking any other games, Bucks have got a home doubleheader this weekend, I believe. So there is hockey at the Forum if you want to keep getting your hockey fix closer to home. Plenty going on there. Any other business, Jono? Do you want to kick us off?
Yep, warm-up jerseys. Do I have? Can you see it? It's one there. There is there. They're available now. Get your tickets online or message the Facebook group, and we'll get you sorted for your tickets for the warm-up jerseys. I think there's about 30 to be won. It's £5 a ticket, so got to be in it to win it, and you've got a real good chance of winning this time. Like I say, there's 30 shirts up for availability. 30 or 31, something like that.
And these are the only ones. There's no replicas made. These are the only ones being the ones you see the guys wearing every week. These are the ones that you will be receiving if you are one of the lucky winners. So get in contact with the supporters club. I'm sure they're building up for a big finish at the next home game, which is still a few weeks away. Jono's list will be building every week until then, I'm sure.
It's next month, isn't it? Next home game.
It is, yeah. We're still talking for another month after that. We'll keep going. Carol, anything from you?
Just a quick announcement, really. A post will be going out about this next. If it's not today, it'll be tomorrow. Today being Tuesday, by the way, tomorrow being Wednesday. Presentation night. Woo! Presentation night this year is on the 24th of April, which is a Friday. And all of the information regarding tickets will be out within the next 48 hours max, so watch out for that. It's at the same venue as last year, which is for those who didn't go, it's Antonia Suites. Tickets are £25, and the usual rules apply. Get them from Alan.
Yeah,
and if you want your photos with me, I will be there.
And
so will I, but I probably won't be able to walk because I am climbing the equivalent of Mount Everest that day.
Yeah,
which is it's that's my work life. And when Alan said it was that day, I was like, oh no, I might be in a wheelchair by the time 7 o'clock rolls around. So yeah, if you see me at presentation night, I might be suffering.
I'm sure we can get something medicinal for you to heal for the rest of the evening.
Mm-hmm.
As well as a lovely 2-course Corvery dinner. That was the Antonia Suites last year was very good. So we'll look on improving on what we did last year. I were already talking with the supporters club about using the big screens a bit better than we did last year, i.e. we didn't at all. So we're going to use the big screens and make it a bit more interactive this year. So when the details come out, get your tickets. It'll be great to see you to celebrate the end of season with your Billingham Stars. That's it. We'll kind of draw a veil there then, if nobody has anything else. For talking about no hockey at all for Billingham, I think we've done quite well. It's 53 minutes.
All, really.
53 minutes. So all we've talked about is playing Blackburn away, and we've managed nearly an hour. Brilliant. Next week when we do have hockey, strap in because it's going to be a long episode. But yeah, no, thanks to Carol and Jono talking about all things. The cup finals and the Olympics was a good chat. Enjoyed that. As I say, if you go to Blackburn on Sunday, travel well and the usual rules apply. If you're staying closer, the Bucks have home games Saturday and Sunday. If you want to take a bit of hockey close at home, but do enjoy. Thanks for watching, listening, or however you consume. your Billingham Stars podcast. You can get us in all the usual places online. Leave us a rating, a review. It helps the podcast get noticed and helps the ratings onwards. We like to keep doing this as long as we can. So help us out with a rating online. Thank you to Carol. Thank you to Jono. We'll see you at training this week. And we'll be back next week with another edition of STARCAST. But for now, we'll say bye-bye.
Thank you for watching and listening to STARCAST. Follow us on social media and remember to subscribe and leave a review on your podcast platform.